On the right, trying to rout dismounted armored lancers, we charge once, charge twice, charge 3 times to no avail. Only after Frankish sub-general Bodric, son of Odoric, is slain in battle by the final push of our shield wall do they panic and run, pursued by our nomad horse. During the pursuit, Dushan, son of Godzimir, seizes the opportunity and charges engaged Frankish foot in a flank, disrupting their ranks on impact. Hey, welcome back to Field of Glory 2 Digital League Season 12. We're playing Rus against our opponent Harry72, playing Frankish. Before reviewing the forces, let us have a look at the terrain. Around the edges of the battlefield we have dense forests. As we have no medium food, this terrain could be considered irrelevant for the purposes of this battle. In the middle of the map we have hills, specifically on the left-hand side a rough ground height 300 hill with steep slopes. It dominates the area around it and is a perfect place to position archers due to rough ground disordering both horse and heavy foot. Not only that, but it also blocks line of sight and hides any forces deployed beyond it. From now on, we will be referring to it as an Overwatch hill. Starting in the opponent's deployment zone and sloping down to the middle of the map, we have a predominantly open ground, height 100 hill. If Frankish forces are able to control it, they would be at a huge advantage due to our forces having to fight uphill to unseat them. Frankish forces can field a variety of Lancer cavalry that is not only more numerous than anything Rus can bring to the table, but also better in melee. One disadvantage is that my opponent does not have any cavalry archers. Not only that, but he can also field a better variety of foot, from dismounted armored lancers who are equivalent to my Huskarls, to dismounted lancers who are better than my offensive shield wall, to raw shield wall who, while not as good as normal shield wall Rus can field, are more numerous and will be perfect to bulk out the numbers and used for flanking. Where Rus has an advantage though is in missile troops. Not only can we take massed archers and more light archers, but we have a number of normal and light nomad horse archers that can skirmish and weaken Frankish forces. And not having a great variety of food makes our selection simple. Offensive shield wall will compose our core troop. Judging by the army lists, we can assume that the opponent will have a lot of cavalry. We shall attempt to counter them by archers. For foot it would be light and massed archers, for the horse it would be light and standard nomad horse archers. I've set up light horse archers and light archers on the left flank. At the outset, the most pressing matter is to find out disposition of the enemy. To that effect, light horse will swing to the left to get eyes behind the hill. Light archers will contest the hill with the intent to take it. Massed archers will support to provide fire superiority and overwhelming force. After taking the hill, providing support and holding the left flank in the rough ground. Huskarls, led by Valdemar, son of Olaf, commander-in-chief, will be the link between the left flank and the rest of the force. These elite troops would get the toughest job on the worst ground in the valley. The offensive shield wall, led by Ivar, son of Thorstein, our sub-general, will move up to the center hill and hold the ground there. The second rank of shield wall, led by Ake, son of Snorre, will be the reserve to either help punch through the center or help reinforce the nomad horse archers on the right flank. Nomad horse archers, led by Dushan, son of Godzimir, would screen on the right flank with the intent of tying up his horse. As the battle opens, Frankish light archers crest the Overwatch hill and take up position there. They were much closer to the hill than I was originally expecting. As expected, however, Frankish battle lines are composed of a mix of armored and normal dismounted lancers and defensive shield wall. We advance as per the original plan, with light nomad horse archers scouting beyond the Overwatch hill to reveal another lancer cavalry force there. Our light archers move up and start engaging the Overwatch hill, managing to disrupt one unit of light archers. We must take that hill ASAP in order to move our massed archers to safety. Unexpectedly, Frankish light archers on the Overwatch hill charge down to engage our force. Some of our light archers evade, others take the charge and get fragmented on impact. Our light archers shoot a volley of arrows at the men that just charged them, disrupting one group and fragmenting the other. Seeing the threat of cavalry from the left flank, and in order to stop Javelin Horse charging our light archers, Valdemar, son of Olaf, commander-in-chief, shifts his command left. On the right flank, nomad horse archers shift to the center in order to meet and engage Frankish cavalry. On the left flank, Nomad light horse archers move up and start softening up Frankish cavalry. I'm worried this might be a mistake, as we should have taken care of the light javelin horse first. Shifting Huskarls left to protect our light archers worked. Even though our fragmented unit takes casualties from missile fire, they do not rout and actually manage to rally. Things are not that great for a Nomad light horse, however, as I feared while most of them evade, one formation gets run off the map while the other is caught and fragmented on impact. Light archers and massed archers working together managed to rout two groups of the opponent. However, the issue is that we are bogged down and have not taken the hill yet. Our shield wall is getting closer and closer to the objective, while the reserve starts to shift right, anticipating lancers breaking through our Nomad archers. Talking off the right flank and Nomad horse archers, they darken the sky with their arrows while prudently keeping back. And while Frankish sub-general inspires his armored lancers to hold firm, another lancer unit under his command is not so well led, and we manage to disrupt their ranks. On the left flank, Frankish lancers keep chasing our light horse, who evade without any issues. Our opponent is shifting his other javelin horse unit in order to assist with that. And while our caught and fragmented light horse is still somehow holding their own, it is only a matter of time before they break. And they do so later on same turn. We're still not in control of the Overwatch Hill, and this is causing a huge issue. While our light archers manage to disrupt their Frankish equivalents and finally chase them off the hill, the Frankish lancers skirmishing with our light horse naturally allows them to contest dominance over our left flank, threatening our massed archers. This is really forcing me to move Huskarls further left in order to delay the lancers' breakthrough there, while finally starting to get a move on the Overwatch Hill with the massed archers. On the center right, his lancers charge our Nomad horse archers, one unit takes the charge while the rest evade. And Frankish foot on our right flank immediately moves forward to support, threatening to trap our engaged horse. Our offensive shield wall in the center is finally in position, and coordinating together with the reserve, manages to chase away one lancer cavalry and engage another, trapping it in combat for the moment. While Nomad horse archers fragments lancer cavalry that charged it. On the left flank, Rus light horse archers keep skirmishing with lancer cavalry, but having lost the weight of numbers, this is ineffectual and is simply a delaying tactic. Frankish horse, however, is now completely dominating the left flank and are getting to the rear of our force. They have the ability to avoid our Huskarls altogether. On a positive note, our light archers have fragmented their Frankish equivalent and are finally pushed up to the Overwatch Hill, with massed archers following closely behind, moving to the foot of it as well. Having thought about it, I push my commander-in-chief and his Huskarls further left, hoping to force the engagement with my opponent cavalry, but I fear this is a mistake. Frankish cavalry can simply skirt around my units now. On the right flank, Frankish forces are pushing hard and chase away our Nomad horse. Rus' offensive shield wall that has chased off lancers is caught alone and has been engaged by two Frankish foot formations. We do, however, manage to defeat and rout Lancer Cav engaged earlier. Our Nomad horse archers pursue right into the middle of the enemy formation. This is not ideal, as there is a threat now of them getting trapped. Nomad horse, by concentration of fire, disrupts Frankish lancers. However, things are not going to plan with the offensive spear combat, as both our charges and ongoing combat causes our two units to become disordered. Thankfully, reserves are there to shore up the defense, and our sub-general Ake, son of Snorre, moves between formations of shield wall in order to bolster the men that will be facing the Frankish elite dismounted armored lancers, likewise led by their sub-general. On the right flank, our shield wall, while disordered, is able to draw one of the combats, but the weight of the numbers is too much and it badly loses the other. Men panic as they see close to 4 scores of their number cut down. They break and start running. As the formations around them see their comrades run away, some lose their nerve, becoming fragmented, one breath away from running away themselves. Things are not looking good here. In the center left, Frankish foot falls back, trying to avoid the arrows from the Overwatch Hill. In response, our light archers split into two groups. One moving to support the center, and second, to skirmish with the Frankish left that has just fallen back. They must leave the Overwatch Hill in order to do so. Left flank sees more chases of light nomad horse archers. However, my opponent has split his cavalry and the main body of lancers is now starting to wrap around our commander-in-chief and his forces. On the right flank, Frankish lancers trying to flank our foot are overextended. We punish that with a volley of arrows from nomad horse archers, fragmenting the Franks. To avoid breakthrough of our lines, last units of reserves are being thrown forward to take the place of their fleeing compatriots and protect our fragmented troops. Our nomad horse archers that pursued earlier on into the middle of the enemy formation have been chased and caught, trapped by our own fragmented men milling about, blocking the only escape route. While Sub-General Ake, son of Snorre, fights valiantly, the offensive shield wall is no match for dismounted armored lancers, and the troop loses over 40 of men, is fragmented and pushed back. All along the right flank, our shield wall is getting engaged, with the weight of the numbers not in our favor. On the left flank, our light nomad horse is finally being chased off the battlefield, with the rest of the Frankish lancers getting into our rear. Seeing that our Huskarls on the left flank have turned about, they move up, threatening a rear charge. In response, our commander-in-chief turns the Huskarls again to face the oncoming danger, while the shield wall keeps going towards the center on a double in order to reinforce the right flank. Overwatch Hill finally taken, our light and mast archers blot out the sky with their arrows and manage to disrupt Frankish shield wall. In the center, mast archers move in to support their light compatriots and attempt to do the same to dismounted armored lancers. However, Lancers' superior training ensures that they keep ranks and weather the storm. Ivar, son of Thorstein, countercharges in defense of his longtime friend, Ake, son of Snorre, but loses over 50 of men as Frankish sub-general sees the maneuver and his superior troops are prepared to receive the charge. We are desperately trying to create a space for a trapped nomad horse to retreat, but fragmented shield wall blocking it can only turn around as the men are still shaken from the sight of their comrade in arms routing. Not everything has gone bad, however, and Nomad Horse manages to rout one unit of lancers and disrupt another. This might not be enough to hold the right flank, I fear. Things get worse as Ake, son of Snorre, and his men have had enough. Seeing another 30 cut down by Franks, their morale breaks, and the men rout from the battle. On the left flank, having forced Harskarls to turn around, their task complete, Frankish cavalry bypasses the formation of my foot and moves on towards the rear of our center. Huskarls turn about yet again and start making their way to the center, while the offensive shield wall rushes to help out the massed archer formation that got overeager and went down from the Overwatch Hill. Seeing that his longtime friend has fled the battle and after losing another 45 men, Ivar, son of Thorstein, orders his troops to fall back and they disengage in good order. Frankish foot on the central left finally moves into action and pushes forward all across the line. Nomad Horse concentrating their fire, fragments remnants of the Frankish right flank lancers, led by their sub-general. In the center, both light and mast archers, while causing a number of casualties, are unable to further disrupt the enemy ranks. That is an issue. That was crucial in order to safeguard the mast archers that rushed off the Overwatch Hill. On the right flank, our foot holds the line, but Nomad Horse archers are unable to contain the sheer number of Frankish foot arrayed against it, and after losing 20 men, gets disordered, but is able to disengage, as we have freed up the space for them to get away. This, however, means that our foot has its flanks and rear exposed. Right about now, a joy at freeing up space to save Nomad Horse archers starts turning to dread, as the realization this could cost us the whole of the right flank. Sad thing. Hey, Pew Pew Meow here. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid and put that like button. A lot of work has been put into this particular video, and this is the only way for me to know if this is better than the rest of my content. So don't be shy. And now, back to the action. On the far left, Frankish lancers keep pursuing the sole light nomad horse, skirmishing with them. Small mercies in life, I suppose. Down in a valley beneath the Overwatch Hill, the folly of moving mast archers from the safety of the hill becomes apparent. Our master archers are double charged, pushed back, and while they keep holding their own for now, they simply can't win that engagement. In an attempt to save them, our shield wall charges to support. Unfortunately, even with their support, archers lose over 4 score of men, get fragmented, and are pushed back yet again. On the right flank, our valiant shield wall holding off against 3 Frankish units has been ground down. It has been fragmented, getting close to losing half their number. If we can't hold there, Franks will split our force in 2. Due to luck, or gods finally smiling down upon us, our right flank does not get charged in an orderly manner, and only the most overextended unit is charged in the flank and gets disordered. As a cherry on top, shield wall that was fragmented all the way at the beginning finally comes to its senses and starts regaining cohesion. It is now only disordered. On the Overwatch hill, light and master archers decide to concentrate their fire again and finally fragment enemy shield wall. I have to bring my center that has been cooling its heels so far into action. Frankish lancers moving into rough ground presents that opportunity. Even if both our units will be disorganized by the terrain, that allows me a flank charge with light archers, who have no issues charging into rough ground. Unfortunately, due to their superior training, lancers hold firm. On the right, trying to rout dismounted armored lancers, we charge once, charge twice, charge 3 times to no avail. Only after Frankish sub-general Bodric, son of Odoric, is slain in battle by the final push of our shield wall do they panic and run, pursued by our nomad horse. During the pursuit, Dushan, son of Godzimir, seizes the opportunity and charges engaged Frankish foot in the flank, disrupting their ranks on impact. Follow-through push from our shield wall fragments that unit further. Unfortunately, Franks pushing from the front fragments our foot in return. The sole shield wall connecting the right flank to the center and holding off 3 Frankish formations loses another 2 score of men. They break and rout from the battlefield, severing the center from our right flank. Combats in the center do not go my way. Light archers get fragmented. Nomad horse gets surprise charge in the flank by light javelin horse, and despite holding the higher ground, lose the battle and also get fragmented. Master archers lose their mettle and run after losing almost 3 scores of men. Shield wall that was supporting them gets charged in the rear by armored lancers Cav, who finally make contact with my force, fragmenting the shield wall and sealing their fate. They lose the battle badly, break and run later on in our turn. On the right flank, our overextended and fragmented shield wall, after losing badly in combat, finally breaks and routs from the battle. Nomad horse that got carried away with pursuing routing Franks gets charged from the front and then in the rear, trapping it and sealing its fate as well. However, not everything is doom and gloom. One formation of our shield wall regains its cohesion fully, and Ake, son of Snorri, finally comes to his senses and manages to rally his troops. It will take some time for them to be fully combat capable, as they are fragmented, but this is better than running blindly away from the field of battle. On the Overwatch hill, Rus-masked archers decide to charge Frankish shield wall milling about in disarray, but to their surprise, shield wall manages to hold the charge. On the right flank, our nomad horse fails to rout fragmented shield wall, and we try and shore up our flanks, and even set up a threat of flanking Frankish cavalry. We maneuver the rest of the troops, trying to present a cohesive front in the center. On the right flank, Frankish shield wall engaging Rus nomad horse rallies to a disordered status. Their compatriots charge and support, and we become disordered and disengage. He also engages our flank, blocking foot, and then chases away nomad horse with his raw shield wall, blocking our foot in and threatening a flank attack. In the center, shield wall led by Ivar, son of Thorstein, gets charged in the back by lancer cavalry and becomes fragmented. On the left flank, our archers are able to rout the fragmented shield wall they've charged earlier, and finally one of our nomad light horse archers comes back to the battlefield after being chased off at the very start of the battle. Overall, this is looking pretty grim. Our forces are scattered across the battlefield while his are concentrated. We have multiple formations fragmented and engaged, teetering on the verge of being routed. At this stage, it is all about damage control, while hoping to get enough of our troops to regain their morale and become combat effective again. Archers on the Overwatch Hill are taking potshots amassed and ready to flank shield wall. Our Huskarls are finally in position to threaten Frankish cavalry. Frankish cav in our rear forces our Huskarls to block them, and while Franks can afford to have one unit tied up, we definitely cannot. Our last non-engaged shield wall charges into the rough ground, working together with the large archers who are hoping to flank a disordered Frankish foothold in there. But while the archers win the charge, Frankish troops hold firm. Right at that moment, shield wall commanded by Ivar, son of Thorstein, breaks, and the Frankish cavalry lancers pursues right into the back of the recently engaged Rus shield wall. That was a clear mistake on my part. Ake, son of Snorre, holds his fragmented formation together as it is charged by the Frankish javelin horse. However, the center of our force is not so lucky. One shield wall breaks, the other one gets charged in the back and gets disordered. On the right flank we get double charged and the raw Frankish shield wall turns about to charge into the rear of our shield wall. We do manage to disrupt the cohesion of javelin horse that was trying to take out our nomad horse archers. And on the Overwatch Hill, archers concentrate their fire on Frankish lancer cavalry. While they do cause a number of casualties, it is not enough to cause a cohesion test. More units get fragmented to the center and our right flank. We maneuver nomad horse to stop Frankish raw shield wall from charging our foot in the back, but we will crumble soon enough as it is. Finally, our returned light nomad horse archers move at their fastest to get back into the battle, but it is too little, too late. Our center breaks completely. The right flank loses another unit of foot as it runs away from the battle. One of our nomad horse archers rallies, and we move it towards the safety of a forest nearby. On the Overwatch Hill, our archers, protected by the rough ground and steep slopes, keep working away on Frankish cavalry, with little results. We move the single remaining center shield wall to link up with the Huskarls, who have not done anything the whole battle. Ake, son of Snorre, was not able to rally his formation due to being constantly harassed by javelin horse. Finally, Frankish lancers charge, knocked the last remnants of order out of the unit, and routed it from the field of battle. In the center, fragmented nomad horse archers were also charged and broke. On the right flank, our nomad horse archers avoided a charge of Frankish raw shield wall. Unfortunately, shield wall charge carried them forward and into the flank of our sole remaining foot there, disordering them on impact. The last nail in the coffin is Ivar, son of Thorstein, being slain as his routing shield wall is being run down by pursuing Frankish lancers. That makes Rus forces lose heart completely, and what units remain retreat in disarray from the field of battle. We have suffered 53% losses, only managing to inflict 25% in return. The issues started with the left flank. Not moving fast enough to the Overwatch Hill, not knowing how to utilize light horse archers who got chased off the map and led to pulling Huskarls away from the main line to compensate. This was also one of the biggest issues of the battle. Elite troops were out of combat the whole battle. In the center, pushing with the offensive spear forward and right allowed the opponent to stretch out my lines and to gang up multiple units to one of mine. My reserves evaporated in front of my eyes. On a positive note, nomad horse archers done extremely well against opponent's cavalry, and only if my foot would have been positioned better instead of running away, could have really put a hurt on the right flank. To summarize, due to not utilizing light horse correctly, not following through with the Overwatch Hill objective and pulling elite units away, my left flank was left wide open, allowing enemy cav in our rear. Rushing forward and stretching my foot to the right allowed the opponent to apply concentration of force and break through overstretched lines, followed by multiple flanking charges, defeating me in detail. Hey, thanks for sticking around. Here is another video here for you that you would enjoy. And if you do have any comments, just to let me know how you enjoyed watching the video, or indeed tactics and tips for me to get better at Field of Glory 2, leave them down in the comments below. I read every single one of them and I do respond to all. Thanks to my opponent for making this video possible, and of course, thank you for watching. And until next time, Do war games, not war.